in some other fashion, so that we continue to support the veterans, particularly in the PCF. We want to have our post and other organizations, the VFW, work with the veterans at CCF much more closely than we have in the past. So here we are. Our presenter, please, stand up. Bill?
Is that me?
You're going to make the presentation?
Yes.
To
To my fellow Vietnam veterans. Glad you guys are back and you served your country.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Come on. So we have this lithograph here. And I do want to talk about it a little bit because it's significant. I am presenting this on behalf of the Shooting Star chapter of the EAFA. Can you hear me? I never use a microphone. I'm from New York, I'm loud, and I'm Italian. So if you can't hear me in the back, raise your hand and I'll use the microphone. Okay, so, and I wrote notes down. This is very important to me, so I wrote notes down. On behalf of the Air Force Association, we're presenting this to the Morris County Community College, which we'll do at the end. I'll hand it over. But in the meantime, I want you to understand a few things about this lithograph, which was done by a gentleman who lives in Morris County, Keith Ferris. And he's the Dean of Aviation Artists. He's had work at the Pentagon. He's been commissioned by the Congress to do aircraft, etc. He's really a world-renowned aviation artist. We tried to get him here today. He's on in years and he had some other things going on, so he could not make it. But this picture is of an F-4 Phantom, which was the workhorse of the Vietnam War. And if you look at this and get an opportunity to come up and look at it, you see in the background there's a MiG. The guy flying this is named Robin Olds. And I brought, this is a book I happen to hold, and that's just a picture of Robin Olds. And you, again, if you want, you can take a look at it. There he is with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he was a colonel, and he was the wing commander. Triple ace, 17 shoot-downs, 100 missions, and you're supposed to go home from Vietnam. He stopped counting and he flew 150 missions. His next job after that was Dean of the Air Force Academy, or Commander in military terms. The guy in the back seat, there is a guy in the back seat, and we used to call him the guy in the back seat, the GIB. His name was, let me look, I'm sorry, let me get his name right, I owe him that much. Crocker. Okay, and he was a lieutenant. So he was flying with Robin Olds that day. So, in afterburner, loaded with Sidewinder missiles, going after a MiG. Probably one of the 17 he shot down. He retired as a general, by the way. And he became somewhat notorious like General Patton because he spoke his mind. And he'd get in trouble every so often for speaking his mind about the war in Vietnam and that we weren't fighting to win it. He said, if we're not fighting to win it, I'm not sure what we're doing here. Okay. So this icon is only the tip of the iceberg of the Air Force in Vietnam. Other aircraft, and I won't go through them all, the AC-130 was the final one, and that's called the Attack Cargo 130. It was loaded with high-powered Gatling guns. Anybody who was in combat and was surrounded or about to be overrun knew the AC-130. We put them up at night, and they would stay up all night, firing a couple of thousand rounds a minute, the AC-130. Then we had the Phantoms. This is, by the way, it's called a Phantom. They delivered napalm. This one was loaded for MiGs on a MiG suite. Clear the skies with MiGs. We loaded them with napalm. And the call would come in. We need fast movers. We need fast movers. If you've seen the movie, We Were Young Once and Soldiers, at the end they're calling in fast movers to save the day. And that's what these planes did. There were numerous people behind these planes. And I think that's important to know. Robin was a fantastic pilot. But you know what? He couldn't fly that plane without the autopilot system. It had something called stability augmentation as part of it. It's something that helped maintain control of the plane. Because when you're going 600 miles an hour and you got to make a turn and you throw the stick hard, you would spin out without stability augmentation, because it understood how fast and controlled the surfaces. And I'm not trying to bore you with technical stuff, but it's important to know. If the jet engines didn't work, he wasn't flying. Things of that sort. So I just want to mention 3 guys who are on the wall, 3 airmen. One is, anyone ever take, well, let me ask you a question. Anyone ever take Route 78 out to 81 to Cabello's, that area?
Yeah.
There's a sign, Master Sergeant Etchenberger. You ever notice that? Got the congressional, correct. Got the Medal of Honor. Somehow we all grew up saying congressional, but it's not. The Medal of Honor. He was stationed at a remote radar site in Laos that was overrun by the Viet Cong. He saved the lives of 19 other airmen, got them all on a helicopter, held off the Viet Cong with an M16, and when he tried to get on that helicopter himself, he was shot and killed. That was kept secret until around 1999, because it was a secret mission. Finally, his family asked for more information under the Freedom of Information Act, and it was disclosed that he had been awarded the Medal of Honor secretly, and that he had been killed in Laos. That's just running a radar site. You would think that's pretty safe. Well, if you're in enemy territory running a radar site, it's not necessarily safe. Another airman that lost his life was Sergeant Pitzenberger. He's about 21 years old. Did anyone see the movie? It was out last year or so, The Last Full Measure. So The Last Full Measure is about Pitzenberger, who was a pararescue airman, went in on a helicopter, went down into the jungle to assist the Army. They needed a medic. They didn't have a medic, I don't know why. But he went down into the jungle. The helicopter got hit by ground fire. It had to leave. They signaled to Pitzenberger to come back up. He waved them off. He stayed there with the Army troops. Overnight, saved 60 Army troops. When they found him in the morning, KIA, killed in action. He had his medical bag in one hand and an M16 in the other. It took 40 years to get him the Medal of Honor. And it was the Army people that had served, that were there that fought for him to get the Medal of Honor. Not the Air Force, it was the Army guys. He saved 60 lives. The last guy I want to mention, his name is Grupp. He was a sergeant. He was TDY from Thailand at Da Nang, the night before the peace treaty was signed. He got hit by a mortar. He was killed by a mortar. He was an aircraft ground crew, and he got hit by a mortar that night. He's listed, at the time that the war went up, he was listed as the last Air Force enlisted person killed in Vietnam. Now, things changed, there's been names added, etc., so I don't know that he's still listed that way, but he's Rucker. So those are the people, that's some of what the Air Force did, not just fly F-4s. We did a heck of a lot to support the war. And I just wrote a little something this morning I'd like to share. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's okay. But I'm kind of paraphrasing Shakespeare and Henry V's Band of Brothers. So, for the guys in the room that wore the uniform, and the women who wore the uniform at any time, we Band of Brothers. We wore the uniform. We stood tall. We did not run. We did not take the easy way out. We flew. We served then and now. So all my Vietnam brethren, you know, I thank you guys. I thank any young person that's in the service today when I see them. I thank them. I thank them because I don't think I could do it anymore. I don't think I could get past basic training. So, Tony, please come up.
It's been an honor to be able to be a part of this and to be the host location for the wall. A few individuals with me, for better or worse, and sometimes both, presidents of the face of a college. But behind us, there are people who really do the very heavy lifting. And three of those individuals with us. Steve Ackerman is the head of campus security at Government College in Morris. Long time, worked with our sheriff's department and others. And Steve was with the bomb squad. We figured he could handle anything on our campus, and he's done an amazing job. Colin McCardle is the head of all events at the college. So if you've seen our commencement early events, that's her. It was extraordinary. And Kathleen Burnett is our director for marketing and public relations. Really did a lot of the heavy lifting. But I will tell you what I've said over the past week. A lot of people have said thank you, and the honor is ours. The gratitude is ours entirely for giving us the opportunity. And as I've said before to our veterans, for the sacrifice that you made and what you did for our country, what we did for you was a very tiny gesture that was humbling for us, but really meant the world for us to be able to do something for you. So thank you for your service. I want to be very, very clear about the gratitude. And recognizing also, I remember getting that first phone call from Senator Bucco. Every journey and every step of progress has to start. It's got to have something to bring us together. And it was our senator. It was absolutely remarkable. We couldn't do the things we do, frankly, without our senators. I thought I saw Assemblywoman Dunn here earlier. There we go. There you are. Our assembly people and our commissioners. The college is able to do a lot, but we don't do it alone. It takes a lot of support. So, Commissioner, Assemblywoman, Senator, thank you for that continued support. It makes it possible for us to say yes. And I have to tell you, it has been an unbelievable honor and a learning experience and a joy getting to know and meet and work with Bill and Emerson and Deacon Rich.
Come on up here, you guys. Emerson, your yes team. Mayor from right here, so thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are wonderful to us. We really, really appreciate it. God bless you. You were wonderful. Yeah. All right. Thank you. We will proceed.
I apologize, but I do have another appointment that I have to attend to, but I wouldn't be anywhere else but here today with all of you. When Emerson came to me and spoke about bringing a wall to Morris County, you know, I didn't think we couldn't do it, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And when he called me on the phone and said that he had signed the contract and started everything in motion, and we needed to raise $6,000, I said this at the opening ceremony, that I said we needed to get serious. And from the very first meeting that we had, I just could not have been prouder of the community of support that we got from all levels, starting with the county college. When you walked in there the first time at the county to see that wall, it absolutely looked like the space was built for it to be there. It was a magnificent location, thanks to folks like Home Depot and all the other volunteers. It was beautifully presented, as it rightfully deserved, and respected as a result of all the hands that were involved. From Randolph to the volunteer organizations, to the first responders, to the VFW groups and military that came out. Just every aspect of this journey was flawless. And I couldn't be prouder to have been a part of it. And I am so honored to have been asked to help. And I can't thank the Randolph VFW Post more for what they do. Somebody said in the beginning, I think it was you, Bill, that, this should not be the end of this journey, right? And those words are absolutely critical, and they are so important, and they are so on point. The Randolph VFW holds a Memorial Day service, a Veterans Day service, a 9/11 service. Every one of those services are extremely important that we never forget. And we as a community need to be there, both young and old alike. And I encourage everyone to never forget this last weekend that we had, but also going forward, never forget those days and do whatever you can to get up to the post for those ceremonies, because they are beautiful, they are necessary, and they show the respect that our country has for the freedoms that we have and for the men and women that fought, and some died, to give us the right to hold it. So thank you and God bless you.
Every day commit suicide. What they don't really tell you is it's a lot larger number. Because it used to be that they combined it with the active duty soldiers and the veterans. Now it's split in half. All right? This is something that, the wall and what we did today and all week, last week, it's good to keep these soldiers' names alive. Okay? Because that's the least we could do. Because they never got to live their lives. Okay? They never did. 18, 19, 20 years old. But I just want to say one thing. Out of 22, only 6 of the 22 were receiving help. Okay? And I want to install in everybody's mind right here and now. This has to change. I mean, you're spending billions and billions of our tax dollars, and you're not reaching the majority of the soldiers that need the care. And one last thing, when it comes to women veterans, this country better wake up, because they're now in combat, they're now serving this country just like any other male, and they're not getting the respect, the dignity, and the care that they deserve and need. When I have veterans in the state of New Jersey, female veterans in the state of New Jersey, that refuse to come to the VA.
Yep.
Because they won't accommodate them with respect. And that's a fact. It's not fiction. But I want to thank the college. God bless you. You did a heck of a job, and it means a lot to us. Also, I also want to extend to Home Depot. I mean, to see them come out there and dedicate on their own time, not being paid. All right, that is the most selfless thing you could ever see anybody do. And they did an excellent job, and I want to thank you very much. And you should be proud of them. You really should be proud of them. And Vietnam vets, we appreciate it. We appreciated the way Bill, Emerson, and the Deacon Rick. All right? We appreciate the way you guys ran it, because believe me, there were walls that were, before that they were made the big jokes out of. Yep. And they kept the dignity and the respect and the honor of every name on that wall. And I appreciate that, and Vietnam vets, and I know veterans in general appreciate it. Thank you.
And so the only comment I have is the mission was to complete the wall with Bill and Emerson and others. It was one of the most spectacular ones we've seen in this state. Matter of fact, the driver of the van said it was the best one he's seen overall. And he's been across the country. So I thank you, and that's all I'm going to say.
A national organization started by 2 Vietnam veterans treated poorly when they came home, and they vowed to never let it happen to another soldier coming home. So we travel all around doing escorts for the wall. This was our 3rd in 4 years. We will go pick up a returning serviceman from the airport and give them an escort of a lifetime home. We've done many of those, so if you know anybody that's coming home and you want to see them get the escort that they deserve, not be treated like these guys were, that's what we do. And we also have a challenge coin, which we give out, and I would like to present this to Bill. It's got the gold star and the blue star under the outstretched wings of the American Eagle. It also has the POW MIA on there, and Warriors Watch Riders, and our motto, which is, "We have your back here at home." On the back, it's got the 5 branches of service: police, fire, EMS, and it says, "Never again will an American warrior be scorned or ignored." And I'd like to present this to you in a handshake. Please accept this as a token of our appreciation for your service. Thank you, and welcome home.
Red Cross has been around since the Civil War, serving veterans since then. And we still are. Anybody who was in Nam or Afghanistan or Iraq for the last few years, you saw Red Cross volunteers there. In fact, 5 of them died in Vietnam. And, well, I just want to fast forward to last weekend. I've done 5 of these in the last 6 years in northern New Jersey. It's what I like to do. I brought 30 volunteers with us this year, and many of them have gone to previous walls, because we just love to remember these men and women. But this year was probably the best. And there was another one in the lecture say that's the standard. This one I think was just done a notch better than that one. And every one of the volunteers I worked with said the same thing. The school just stepped up remarkably. And the thrill I get, bad word, the feel of satisfaction I got by sending welcome home to at least 1,000 men this weekend. Next week when I come back, I do it again. All right, I'll stop. Thank you.
Just to give you an idea. All right. Thank you. We still like it. So, certificate of appreciation to Home Depot. Please come on in.
It was an honor to be a part of this. We did donate our personal time to help execute the wall, so it was quite the experience. So thank you for your service. I appreciate it.
Yes, Depot up in Suffolk and met Walter. And Walter said, we have an inventory list that was created by the college as to the material that we would need. It was a significant amount. So I took it up there, and Walter says, okay, leave this with me. And maybe a few days later, we got a call. He wanted us to give him a certificate, like a tax ID thing, and we took care of that. And so we were looking, we thought maybe they would come back with something like, okay, we'll give you so much of the material. And we were kind of prepared for that sort of stuff. Instead, I got a call from a person named Bambi. over at, and that's her real name. I had to say her name. So Bambi expressed that, yes, not only would we like to give you all the material, but we will give you some help to put this thing together. And so a team showed up, delivered the material, and started working. And we were just amazed at the generosity, the kindness, and all these folks were so motivated. Anywhere from Chaz, who seemed like a master carpenter, that was running the whole operation. And I'm wondering how Home Depot get these type of people, you know. And, you know, Donna and all the folks showed up, and it was just a wonderful thing. So I just want to personally thank you guys, you know. And I want everybody to understand the role you actually play.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'll pass it on to all of you. I don't really have a lot to say. It was a pleasure to be able to do this. I was happy to be able to support the wall and all of you.
It was a pleasure to be able to work on this Vietnam moving wall. I first was contacted by Deacon Rich over here, who I belonged to the church with him, so he must have had my email address. And we had one date available, the next day they couldn't make it. But a few weeks later, we were able to have them come to our meeting. At that point, we had decided before they got there that we would give them the check. We gave them a check with $1,000 on that. So we presented it to Bill that night. And next thing you know, I'm over at the Memorial Day service for the VFW, because my Boy Scout troop is sponsored by the VFW here. So I'm at the Memorial Day service, and Deacon Rich looks at me and says, "I got a job for you." So I was handpicked by Deacon Rich to run the food service, which is white. So I thought I'd let you know. Thank you.
And I talk all day. This is the cost of it. As a regional manager, manage Sussex and Morris. I'm honored to say that I was part of the moving wall up in Sussex County, and when I heard that it was coming down to Morris County, it was only an honor. It was an honor for us to also be part of it here in Randolph as well. So thank you for everything that all of you have done for the country. I really appreciate it. And on behalf of Provident Bank, thank you. I appreciate it.
Classmates from Randolph Park High School. And a lot of people in the community have not had the opportunity to go to Washington to pay their respects. I'm glad that this, having the wall here gave them the opportunity. And I know many people from their families had a chance to visit up there. So it's an awesome, a lot of work put into it, but Donald, I think it's fantastic job on everybody's part. Thank you.
Nobody forgets. Never forget.
Being a part of this event is one of the most gratifying things I've ever been able to do. And I really appreciate all the cooperation that we got for what we needed, the college, the local police department, all of the organizations that pitched in to help us, because for me, it was one of the most gratifying things I've ever been able to do, to be able to help people to find the names of people they knew on that wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service. The doer instead of the talker. And I'm not going to lie, when I got in the first committee meeting and I asked about the ladies auxiliary for the post 7333, and I was told that there wasn't one, I thought, oh boy, how's this going to work? But you guys pulled it off, and I will thank you, Bill, because I don't know, there's something about your aura that you've just got to stand at attention and do.
No pun intended, right? Something about his aura.
But truly, it really was an honor to be part of it and have an opportunity to speak at the event. I shared my personal story and experience, and in many ways, it felt like a welcome home for my father and for me. I feel like, you know, when I first got into office, I was really ingratiated by the pet groomers. They were the first group to really welcome me. It was during the COVID shutdown, and I fought the governor to make sure that pet groomers could stay open. So you make the most interesting friends in politics. So it's the veterans and the pet groomers that have really taken me in. And but you know, kidding aside, you really feel like family. You are family. And I hope that you realize that this is just the beginning. And I'm here for you, and anything that I can do, just know that 5,000 or more people came through last weekend. We really bridged that knowledge gap for the next generation, and we will just continue your legacy. So thank you again.
First of all, let me say on behalf of the county, that we thank County College of Morris, all of our county family, the Sheriff's Department. I know Brian Murray was assisting, and other people throughout county government. So it was an honor for us to do that. You know, one of the things that I think back on, I joined the Marines and Marine Reserves in 1978. And I know we think we have issues today, but when we think back to those times, it was really even tougher. I mean, when I joined my Marine unit, my platoon, which should have 3 squads, 4 fire teams, should have about 40, 42 Marines. We had 15 Marines in that unit. And the platoon sergeants, about 1/3 of that unit, were all Vietnam veterans. They continued to serve. That chain was not broken. And when we look at the service today, I was talking to members of that reserve unit a little while ago, fully billable. So people today, that message has gotten through. And when I think back to those Vietnam vets who are serving, I look at the Vietnam vets here, and for all my time in public office, always thank our Vietnam veterans. Because you served during one of the toughest times, and you served with honor, dignity, and you did your job. We're always appreciative of that. And I would just conclude, I know we're all proud, we have people here who served and are proud of the branch of service that they served in. I served in the Marine Corps. And for me, when I look at the names on the wall, and you know, I'm so proud of being a Marine, and I know the Marines have a fearsome reputation. But that reputation was paid for at a high price. At a high price. And we can never forget them. And Emerson, I like how you talk about we can't forget those who served in previous wars in Korea, World War II, World War I, right on down the line. Because those were people who gave up their lives too, who gave up their chance to have children and grandchildren, so that we can enjoy the wonderful life that we have now. So thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. It's quite an honor. If there was enough room on here, I'd like to put all the VFW posts, their formal names, and all the commanders. You mentioned November. Actually, the first meeting, I heard about it in November, but the first meeting that I attended was in December. And I was very impressed by the organization and his program and project management skills. I'm a certified PMP, so what I saw there was like pretty impressive. So I don't know if he had the training, but he had everything well organized, communications was going well. And so my responsibility is to make sure that 11 posts of the VFW here in Morris County were involved. And I got thousands of communications from him, emails, which is fine. Get bombarded every day, which is cool. But I was informed, and I take the most important emails and I blast it out to my people. And then at all the meetings that I had, that was always old business. We were talking about it all the time. So the communication plan for his project, his program, was one of the best I've ever seen in a program and project. So that was great. John Crickett, you talk about when you were a lieutenant and all that. You just triggered something with me. When I came in, I went to military academy in '75, graduated in '79. And all those great Vietnam NCOs and officers that I learned from at the academy, they were coming back with Vietnam patches and CIB, Combat Infantryman Band. They were all Vietnam veterans. And I was quite impressed and honored to have learned from them, their trade. And my dad, Vietnam veteran, Tech Sergeant, United States Air Force, stationed in Da Nang. His name's not on the wall, but it should be. There were many veterans that died of Agent Orange. And my dad passed away in San Antonio, Texas in 2008, and I was able to make his ceremony at Fort Sam Houston Cemetery. So there's a lot of veterans that got that Agent Orange, and they're suffering. Some of them are suffering today. I know there's a few in my district. So let's remember them too. And I know my dad's looking down, Tech Sergeant Jack Niblett, a proud 20-year man in the Air Force. And also I think about Jack Sassman. He's the one who mentored me when I became the district commander and got me going in this position. I'm in my 5th year. But he's the one, and he's right here from Randolph Post. He helped train me and coached me along, and I know he passed away a couple of years ago. He's looking down, and so is my dad. Army Strong. And
We can give ourselves a certificate, right?
Yeah, right? So,
Get together, get together.
I don't know, he didn't receive the certificate. I just want to mention, we got a tremendous amount of food from the Randolph Diner. We got food from their same company he owns, which is Brooklyn Bake. We got pizzas from Forte's, which is across the street. We got sandwiches from a guy by the name of Mike. We don't know what his last name is. He used to own the sandwich place up in Sucker Center. What was the name of it?
Sandwiches Unlimited.
Sandwiches Unlimited. He owned it, and in the middle of this, he sold it. So he couldn't give us the sandwiches. He actually bought them. And then on Monday afternoon, he gave us a wonderful barbecue for everybody that was here. It was really, really wonderful. So those are other entities that provided us with support to do it. So I just wanted to make this sure.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank everybody who are here today and the ones that are not, who stepped up and supported this. We started this project probably 8 years ago, and to see it come to fruition, and not just come to fruition, but come in such a way that I can truly say of all the walls that I've been to, I think this was the best. It was presented in such a respectful manner, just the manner that I wanted to see it. I talk about this sometimes. I took a trip all the way to Maine just to visit one of my squad members' gravesite. And that was so impactful. It was a quiet cemetery, you're there by yourself. And the mood of the wall and the respect that the visitors and everyone involved showed to this, just warmed my heart. I go home every night. The thing is, when we took it down and it drove off, just a sadness came over me. I felt something of a loss, but by the next day I was feeling as if there was some type of closure, a type of closure I was looking for. And so I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This is Vietnam vets and folks here. This is something that we've lived with all our lives. And to share it with our community, you have no idea what it means to us. And then in these times, when you share it, and the reaction you get as opposed to what it was back in the day, a reaction that you had gotten used to. I said to Rick back here that I appreciate people like him so much, and you folks who step up, and not just step up, but you did it with such passion, the kind of passion that I could feel. And that means so much, the passion you show. Thank you, the college president, just all the folks from the college who, I'm never lost for words, but you guys choked me up in that. Good. And I didn't turn the certificate upside down, Dave, because the joke with the Marine Corps and the Army folks is that if I had turned it this way, he would say, yes, they joined the Marine Corps because they didn't know how to read.
You guys here, all the support you guys did for the Randolph Diner, and thank you for your services. I appreciate it. Thank you.